Should you sell your house? Big decision. One of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life is evaluating if it's time to sell your house, because having a house is almost like being married. In fact, many people sell their house because a marriage ends, a divorce. And the entanglements and the process in which it takes to not only liquidate the asset, but to change some of your key documents, your license, your residency, and to establish a new set of roots is such an overwhelming task that many people either procrastinate the decision to sell their house or they just never do. They die in their house. I remember working with a guy, and I told him that I had a dream to move to Florida. Now, this was several years ago, maybe almost 10 years ago. Good to see Emoji Meme. I know this topic hits home. Emoji Meme is in the process of trying to sell her house in upstate New York. Let me tell you something. A week away from Christmas, there's a cold front here in South Florida. What's the cold front in South Florida? 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, that's South Florida. In Orlando, where Emoji Meme's looking to move, I think it's probably about 10 degrees cooler. So being in South Florida versus Central Florida or North Florida matters. But let me tell you something. Even if you were at the top of North Florida, is it better than being in upstate New York in the winter? Yes. Why? Because when you live in any other state pretty much other than Florida, but definitely a northern state, you are saying that you are willing to deal with the winters. The winters are pretty much sacrificing about 6 to 8 months of your life that you cannot really be outdoors, that you will basically be a hermit. You'll hibernate. Thus, it brings us back to our topic. When is it time to sell your house? When you no longer want to live where your house is. Period. Because we need to make an income. We need to be there for our responsibilities. But guys, if you look around at your life and you no longer enjoy living where you are, what's the point of everything in life? What's the point of working? What's the point of being there for our loved ones if we ourselves are miserable? Could you raise your kids anywhere? Yeah. Now, am I going to tell people to uproot their kids and everything? No. That's an individual choice. So what I'm going to start with, when is it time to sell your house? Well, if you're single and if you don't have any kids, it's time to sell your house whenever you want to get the hell out of Dodge. Period. Because it's just you. And you have more liberty to get up and go. Use that liberty. I often share with you guys the number one asset of minimalism and specifically living on the road, living mobile, but just living a downsized life. The number one asset is the level of flexibility you have in your life. However, if you have an asset but you don't use it, it's like a tree that falls in the forest. Does anyone know it fell? Guys, if a tree falls right now in Albany, New York, do I know? Hell no. Guys, I'm dodging coconut fallings off the top of palm trees in South Florida. So, but what I'm trying to emphasize to you, use what you have. If you're single and if you have the ability to sell your house, sell it. Now, one topic that will come up when it's time to sell a house is, do you have equity in the house? You know, I owned a house for 15 years. I bought it in about 2002 through 2003. So at that time, the economy was relatively good. And I bought it. In the beginning, it was a little bit tough because I was still building my career, struggled with it. And then I got laid off. But I did what I had to do to keep my house. However, as we got into like 2008 when the financial crisis hit, I lost equity in my house because housing prices went down. And like most Americans, I was living above my means. I actually had not only a mortgage, but a home equity loan on my property. And even if I wanted to sell the property, I couldn't sell it without paying the bank more, or else I would have to go into foreclosure or short sale. So when you look at it as a time to sell your house, well, the number one thing is, one of the main things you have to look at is, do you have equity in the house? Meaning that if you list your house for sale, can you not only account for what you owe regarding the bank, the mortgage? Like example, if you bought the house for $200,000 and you can sell it for $220,000. Yes, you may have some equity, but you also have to consider paying the real estate agent commission fees, which can range anywhere from 3 to 6%, closing costs, inspections. You're probably gonna have to get your water heater, electrical service maybe upgraded, or get the permit taken out and officially. That all costs money. But let's just say you can either break even or you'd make some money on selling your house. That is a green light, that it's an option, a major option. Because obviously, if you want to sell your house, but you don't have equity, you actually going to owe money. And if you don't have that money, guess what, guys? Well, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I mean, that's something you look at. And the next thing you look at is if you are going to make some money, or if you're just going to break even, where do you go next? I often shared with you guys, a lot of people love the idea that over time, if you build up equity in your house, you can make money. That's true, but note this. You only make money on a house when you sell it. And then when you sell it, what are you going to do with that money? Either you're going to buy another house, and that means all the other property values have went up, or you're going to downsize and move into a smaller house in a different location, or you're going to live mobile. But you have to kind of figure out what's your next step. And I recommend that even if you don't decide to live mobile, I don't think most people should do that. I think you should just maybe even rent initially. I think you should just rent initially. Why? Because like I say, from my experience, owning a house for 15 years, I remember when I was getting close to the closing date, I remember telling my real estate agent, man, I feel like I'm going through a divorce. Owning property is such a heavy commitment. It's one of the biggest financial commitments you'll make in your life for most people. And like I say, many people sell their house because they go through a divorce, or their spouse dies and they no longer either want to stay in that house, or they no longer have a need for the house, or their kids get older. So it's like a monumental point in your life where you're getting ready to permanently change your life. Human natures have a tough time to let go. And once you sell your house, you're permanently letting go of your life in that area the way it was. And many people can't deal with that. They like the idea of it, but they can't deal with the reality of it. Because the reality of it is you're getting ready to rock your world, change your life. And Lauren says, yes, she likes to, daydream and shop on Zillow or Realtor.com. I used to like to do that too. At one time I had house fever. I wanted to buy every house I could afford. I wanted to take out equity in my house and buy other houses. I was like nuts. I remember dating a girl. She was in her early 50s, and she said, Sam, I don't know what I was thinking in my 30s. I just wanted to have kids. My hormones were racing. Now I look back, I don't know. I had baby fever. Get through the baby fever. Also, get through the RV fever. Because you'll do the same thing with the mobile lifestyle. You'll be looking at every RV, and that's fine. But be slow to commit. Be quick to liquidate, slow to commit to long-term financial things. Why? Because everything changes. In your 30s, you want to have babies. In your 50s, you want to be alone. You want to get out of this nonstop worrying. Live light, guys. Live light. It's true. But you have to sell your house. You have to look at it when you know that you no longer want to live in that area, when you have some type of either positive equity or you can break even, and you have some type of forward-looking plan. Now, for me, I didn't know exactly where I was going to live next. I looked at actually even considering buying a smaller house in New Jersey by the beach. I really considered that. But I took a step back. I said, Sam, I knew I wanted to do two things when I sold my house. This is what I knew, okay? I knew that I wanted to downsize. I wanted to cut my monthly expenses, because I think when I added everything up, it was like $2,000 or $2,200 a month in mortgage and utility and HOA fees and everything like that. So I said, Sam, it's crazy. For a single person, too much. You can cut that at least in half, down to $1,200 or $1,000 a month in living expenses. And I did a poll the other day. That's what currently in the United States of America, the average rental is $1,200 per month. That will vary on your state, on your city, etc. But that gives you some average baseline data. So I said, yeah, Sam, I could cut my bills in half. So I had two goals in downsizing. Number one is I wanted to try to cut my monthly living expenses at least in half. And number two is I wanted to live by the beach, but specifically, I really wanted to eventually get to Florida. I didn't know how long it would take me to get to Florida because I knew I had to secure a job first, and there was no clear path at that time to get there. However, what I did know is that opportunity goes to those who are ready to seize it. And to seize opportunity, you have to have flexibility and you have to be liquid. And at that time, I was very static and I had no flexibility. Because if a job opportunity came up at Florida at that point, I wasn't ready to take it. Because it takes 6 to 8 months to sell a house. It takes a while to downsize. And the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, in my experience, the last thing you want to do when you're getting ready to start a new job and move to a new state is sell a house. I mean, you kind of want to be liquid so that you can put all your mental energy to starting a new job and to exploring a new city. Because if you put all these new things on you at once, because again, humans are creatures of habit. So the hardest thing for a human is to do something new. Okay. So when you're going to start a new job, buy a new house, go to a new state, and sell a product, you're putting too much on yourself, and you're not going to live a well life. You're going to have a lot of stress. You're not going to make good decisions. You don't make good decisions when you're under stress. So when should you sell your house? When you don't have to. I often say to you guys, when should you change jobs and go for a promotion or change companies? When you don't have to. Because when you don't have to do something, but you proactively do it, you have the leverage. Okay. You don't have to sell your house you have the leverage. However, when you lose your job and you can't afford to keep your house, you have no leverage. Okay. So if you're in an opportunity window in life where you don't have to sell your house, but you don't want to be in that area, you don't have kids, or you can raise your kids somewhere else, I think it's something you have to really look at. Because eventually what happens is time keeps ticking. We are getting ready, as I make this video, we are 1 week away from another year, 2020. Okay. So guys, are you getting any younger? No, we're all getting older. Today is the youngest day you will ever be. You'll never be younger than you are right now as you watch this live feed. Every minute that ticks away on this video, you're getting older, and it never goes the other way. It only goes forward. Al Illinois is here. He's getting ready to have surgery next month, and we're praying for him. Guys, when you're healthy, that's time to sell your house. Because once you go through a health element, you're not able to sell your house. You're not able to have people come do a walkthrough, and you need all your time to recover. Okay. When you're healthy, when you're in a time window, when you have equity in your house, you better really consider if it's time to sell your house. Why? How many opportunities do you get in life? Now, you get more opportunities, but do you get more time? None of us get more time. What are your goals? My goals were to downsize my living expenses and to move to Florida. And that's why I didn't commit initially to another property. I said, because I don't want to live in New Jersey, even if I could cut my bills in half. If I don't enjoy where I'm living, what's the sense of working? And I didn't believe it was wisdom to buy a house in Florida if I wasn't living there. I didn't. I almost did, but then I had to pull myself back from that house fever. Never buy a house when you have house fever. And also never have a baby when you have baby fever. Never buy a dog during the holidays if you got dog fever. Why? Because it's a fever. It's a sickness. It's not a wellness. You want to do things in wellness, not feverish. Not easy. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. Not easy. You need the grace of God. You need some strength. So the best thing you can do when you sell your house is kind of stay liquid. Let yourself heal. It's a divorce. Okay. It's a divorce. And like every divorce, in my opinion, again, everyone should do whatever they want. Okay, because I'm not married. I don't have kids. This is my opinion. It's my analogy. Yeah, I don't think you should get right away back into another heavy commitment. Why? Because you have to heal. It's like you don't break your leg and then go run a marathon, right? Why? Because you have to heal. Now, eventually you heal and then you get back in the game. Why? Because that's what life's about. You fall, you get back up. But after getting out of a heavy commitment, be slow to commit, but be urgent to reposition your life so that you never feel that level of uninspiration, being uninspired in a state, in an environment that you don't like. Because where you live, your environment is so critical that I can't stress that enough. And if you don't believe me, go try to plant a flower in Albany, New York in the winter. Doesn't grow. Doesn't grow. Go try to plant a flower in Newark, New Jersey. Almost any time of the year, don't grow. Trenton, New Jersey, don't grow. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's bad people in those areas? No, it means that your environment matters. Tupac had a saying that, he was a rose that grew from a concrete. It's possible, but it's very rare. And you saw his life unfold before our eyes. His lifestyle eventually killed him. He played a part in that because he didn't get out of the environment. He kept hanging around with the same people doing the same things, and his environment killed him. Your environment matters. Never forget it. And where you plant yourself, where you choose to live matters. And the monthly expenses that are associated that matters. Why? Because every time you don't live below your means, you have to take a job or several jobs that you hate. And there's a difference between going to work because, you have to, even though we all have to, but going to work because, you know what, I still need income, but I don't have to. You understand what I'm saying? A different mindset. So I think I shared with you some general things that you should really consider if you're even thinking about selling your house. Because it's not just the money, and money's part of it. I broke that down too. But it's quality of life. It's long-term positioning. Okay? Because how many chances do you really get to change your housing? Not much. Most people will probably, unless you grew up like in the army or some type of drifter, most people will only change their house a few times in their lifetime. Most people. There's exceptions. And I think even if you grew up in the army where you moved around or you had some type of parents that moved you around, I think you'll realize that there's certain states or there's certain countries or there's certain cities that you feel more alive, more inspired than others. And that matters. Why? Because guys, being in an environment that encourages you is a huge part of quality of life. Huge. You have to intentionally steer your life. I like cruise control on my car when I'm driving down a highway, but I am choosing what highway. I'm choosing the direction. I like southeast direction. Every time I go north, I don't feel inspired. I did several videos about that. Every time I go west, away from the coast, I don't feel inspired. Southeast, when my compass, I intentionally go southeast. Now, I'll put it on cruise control on the way there, but you have to steer your life, especially as an adult. If you don't, either someone else will steer it for you or you're going to end up in the wrong place. Intention. Living with intention, with purpose, with a plan. Now look, will plans change? You damn right. There's a saying that we can make our plans, but God determines our steps. That's true. But faith without works is dead. Okay. So have a goal, even if the plan changes. Have a goal, even if the plan changes, you still have a direction. You still have a direction. What do people perish for? Lack of direction, lack of dream, lack of goal. Goals are to be measured. They're to be broken down into small steps. And then action, action, action. You can masturbate all you want to Zillow and watching your estimate go up, your equity go up. But until you take action on interviewing real estate agents and pushing it and making yourself available when someone wants to come visit your house. I listed my house 2 weeks before Christmas in New Jersey. There was snow, there was cold weather. I was working a full-time job. I made myself available for 99% of everyone who requested to walk through my house. Why? Because I was serious about selling it. And, I think that's what you have to ask yourself. How serious are you? How serious are you about living where you are? About wanting to live somewhere else? Only you can answer that. I can't. There's risk involved. There's change involved. There's adapting involved. And that's why a lot of people don't like it. They like the idea, but they don't like the reality. However, the reality is of you doing nothing is you can guarantee misery. You can guarantee that if you don't like where you're at, it never changes, guys. It only gets worse. If you're in a bad marriage, it doesn't get better. It only gets worse. If you're in a house that doesn't inspire you, you can do all the renovations you want. You can hang new photographs. You can paint your kitchen. But let me tell you something. I did that. It doesn't change the fact that you're not where you're meant to be, where you're inspired. Because, guys, I got no sheetrock walls now. I got no renovations, and I'm more inspired than ever before. Why? Because the environment, the culture. And I know Lauren sharing something. We're going to read all live comments. I appreciate everyone. What I recommend to you do, up to you. It's up to you, guys. I'm sharing my opinions. When you do sell, don't get too many moving trucks. Why? Because I think you can throw out 80% of what you own. Statistics show that humans only use 80% of what you own. 80% of your clothes are waste. You don't wear them. You wear the same 20% of clothes. You just intermix accessories. 80% of everything you own is waste. It's consumerism. So if you are in a position where you're getting ready to reposition your life, change your environment, change your mindset towards things, towards furniture. You know, I had a sectional couch that wrapped around my living room. It was very nice. Baby blue leather. Italian leather. Very nice. Had some fun nights on it. Oh, yeah. However, the reality is I only sat on 20% of the couch. The other 80% was just there for waste. Now, I had a couple nights where there was a couple people over. I'm not going to lie. But you know what I'm saying. If you're a single person and you got a king bed, now you may have a big ass. I know most people on YouTube, look, you're overweight and you're nasty. I understand that. Look, guys, I got a wide ass. But you don't need a king bed. Shit, you don't even need a queen bed. Even big people can do very well on a twin bed. Okay. So reevaluate everything, not just your house, your furniture, your clothes, the way you look at consumerism. Why? Do you want to own your life? Do you want to own your life? Do you want to change your life? Or do you just want to change your address? Big difference. Now I'm evolving now into something way beyond just selling your house. This is a mindset. This is a lifestyle. A lot of you girls out there, you got the good panties you ain't wearing in a long time. And let's be honest, no one's going to see those panties anymore. A lot of you guys out there, look, you know, you may not be into clothes, but you got a lot of tools. You got comic book collections. You got baseball cards. Guys, you're adults, okay? Liquidate that. Move on with your life. You know, you can do most jobs with a pair of channel locks, pliers, and a razor. You over there, you got every metric, size, Allen key there is to be made. Guys, you just need duct tape and a multi-use screwdriver. Huh. And I was a contractor, I can tell you for sure. Waste. Waste is weighing your life down. Guys, you shouldn't need a moving truck. Huh. You should need a dumpster. Cancel the moving truck and order a dumpster. I want you to cancel the moving truck and order a dumpster. That's what you should do. In my opinion. And that's my message tonight, guys. I appreciate if you click that thumbs up button, share the video. We're going to read all live comments. I appreciate you guys leaving. I got to take a hydration break because I'm getting fired up. I get fired. I'm inspired, guys. Don't be mad at that. Yeah. Let me roll down my windows. I'm in South Florida, guys. Cold front, guys. 70 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. Okay, very cold, guys. Sorry to tell you. I love it, man. Never leaving Florida. Never. Not going to do it. Okay, why? This is for me. For me, not for you, not everyone. For me, it's the best place ever. I love you guys. All those who are positive. I love the negative people too, but you're not going to be in my life long. Why? Because, guys, I want to live a positive life. That's true. Good to see all you guys. Emoji me, you know I got love for you. I'm praying for you. I'm thinking for you. Keep pushing forward. Free to be me. A house is not a home. I did a video. I recommend you look it up. It's called, just search in YouTube, Inspirational Nomad, A House Makes You Lonely. There's nothing more lonely than looking at an empty house. That's what makes you call people up and text people. because you look at your sectional couch and you envision the idea of someone being next to you. And what I could tell you guys, a house will get you into a relationship even if you don't want a relationship. Because there's something in the psyche, when you look at an empty house or an empty apartment, it makes you lonely, it makes you hungry. How many people are going to overeat tonight simply because they got snacks in their closet, in their kitchenette? Guys, I ain't got no, And then that was another reason I was like, you know what, I'm going to sell this house before I get back to 350 pounds. Because when you're in your house and you wake up in the middle of the night and you got a gallon of chocolate chip ice cream in the freezer, guys, guess what you're going to do? You're going to finish that off. That's why you should live light. Because sometimes it's just having the option of excess kills us, makes us make bad decisions. Sometimes you have to eliminate the option of even having it. And I think that's a valuable lesson. Journey with Joy, shout out to Tennessee. Sell when the market is strong if possible. Guys, even if the market was moderately strong when I sold, moderately, sell whenever you have positive equity, or you can just get out, basically, after I evaluated everything I put into it, just get out free, just get out break even. If you want to move on with your life. Again, everyone's different. And if you love where you live and if you love your house, then this message is obviously not for you. This is only for people who don't want to live in their house. If you love your house, then there's nothing to even ask yourself. You're happy. So just continue to be happy. Blanton, smash that like what, brother? Smash it out in South Carolina. Blanton's getting ready to move from North Carolina to South Carolina, but he's a young person. Just got out of college, getting ready to start his first job. Major job. He worked it through college. So what I can tell you is, Blanton, be slow to buy a house. Be slow to have kids. Why? Because they're both one of the biggest commitments you'll make in your life. So while you're young, figure out what you like. That takes time. Be slow to commit and quick to cut off, especially in the beginning of your life. Good job. Archie, if you can buy a small house outright, it's worth it. But mortgages cost double the initial price with interest. Well, a small house is not necessarily worth it. One is your greatest financial asset is a savings account. Because if you own your house free and clear, but you have nothing in the savings account, you're more vulnerable than someone who has a mortgage and $20,000 in a savings account. Your savings account is the biggest thing that separates you between having to ask a family member for money and between having to get a loan. So if you have a mortgage, but you have $100,000 in a savings account, I think you're better off with that than having a paid off $100,000 house and only having like $1,000 or $2,000 in savings. Why? Because guys, your furnace can go bad, your roof can cave in, you can get in an accident. And your savings account is your emergency fund. So always remember that first, but I'm not mad at what you're saying overall. Alberto Martinez, thank you for the super chat, man. I watch all your videos, brother. Thank you. Very informative and honest. Thank you for appreciating me. Always inspired me to keep going forward. Well, that's the overall message. And I appreciate that tip, Alberto. Love and respect and thankfulness to you. Look, guys, always remember, I'm passionate and I'm strong in sharing my opinion. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt if I'm saying something that doesn't vibe with how you want to move in life. We just have different views. But understand, my underlining theme is keep pushing forward, okay? But intentionally get closer to your dreams. You have to do that through making decisions to position yourself well. So, Alberto, thank you, brother. Love and God bless, man. Appreciate that, man. That's love. All right, back to live comments. Archie, thank you again for sharing, brother. Just remember, I'm just sharing my viewpoint too, man. But I appreciate your perspective. And you are right. Look, the interest is deductible and tax property is deductible. So again, there's a financial aspect of owning a house, but there's also liking your environment. Because if you, example, right now you can probably buy a very cheap home in Ocala, Florida, which is in the middle of the state. It's not a very nice area. Or you can live in Palm Beach, okay? So even if you can live dirt cheap in Ocala, Florida, if it's not a nice area, why would you live there? You can live in Newark, New Jersey for cheap, but if it's a bad area, why would you want to live there? So it's not just financial. It's part of it, because guys, you can't live somewhere where you can't afford. That's part of life, okay? But you have to figure out, where do you want to live, and then how can you afford it, okay? And why? Because guys, it all matters. That's true. Good job. Archie. So $200K house, you pay $400K over 30 years. Yeah, look, but again, some of that's tax deductible. And some of that's just part of life. I mean, nothing's free. So if you have 200K right now in your bank account, are you going to wash that all into, who has that? 90% of society doesn't have that. And then the other 10% of society that does have it, they usually have other assets. Very few people have only 200K, are going to put that all into one house, not have anything in savings or any other assets, and then go. So look, if you have 200K plus other assets, then, you got to do you. My message is live below your means, but live where you want. If you can buy a house in cash and do that, God bless. I'm not mad. I'm not saying that's bad at all. That's a great thing. Great. However, I understand, just like I was, I had a FHA loan on my property. I couldn't afford to buy my property outright. I had to borrow money from my parents for a down payment. It's one of the worst decisions I made. So again, if you have that money to do it, I'm not mad at you, but I'm just saying your savings account is your greatest asset. Lauren, I love to house shop on Trillo. Got house fever, but it is just for fun. Well, I'm not mad at that. I do that with RVs now, so I understand. Window shopping, can't commit. I'm the same way. I love you, appreciate you, Lauren. I'm the same way. Like right now, I'm doing that with RVs, and I go back to, I really can't beat my current setup. Now, as I get older, I will probably change it. But I look at my age, and I think that's another determining factor of when to sell your house, your age. What's your age, what's your life goals? Like I always tell you guys, don't wait too long, because as you get older, it gets harder. I was talking to my mom today on the phone after work, and I said, Ma, I thank God that I really got in intense mode in my early 30s to lose weight, because I remember walking in like 10-degree weather in New Jersey, even in the middle of the winter, and because I was intent on losing weight. I said, but right now I'm pushing 40, and I don't think I have that same energy and mindset to go outside, to bundle up, and to walk in the middle of the winter to lose weight. I'm not. 10 years changes a lot. So like you may be 50 and say, all right, well, I'll sell my house at 60. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but all I'm saying is you better account for, you're not going to have the same energy at 60 that you do at 50. Why? Because I don't have the same energy I did at 30, and I'm about to be 40. So your age matters and your energy matters. That's true, because it's a big undertaking to buy and sell. True. K-Box, what's up? A house is a huge financial commitment. For most people, the biggest one they'll ever make. Usually after 5 years, people get bored of living in one location. That's a great comment. Humans have a nature to move around. Excellent comment. The average statistics that people don't keep a car more than 3 to 5 years. People don't keep the RV more than 3 to 5 years. You have to, on average, you have to own your house for at least 7 to 10 years for it to appreciate, for you to have enough equity to pay for the closing costs, real estate agent, and make money. Now, there's exceptions. You can hit a boom. You can hit it right. But that's the average. So again, guys, don't wait for the perfect conditions, because there's never one. And when you live a downsized, minimalistic life, you're more flexible. So when you do want to change your mind, you can. Lauren, getting a house has a lot of peer pressure. Definitely. I think I caved into that. Some of it was my own fault. I take accountability. But some of it, too, was pressure from my parents. Even like, look, like once you get a house, you're established, you're successful. And again, I did to myself, and I'm thankful for their help. But again, you got to be slow, especially when you're young, to make such a big commitment. And that's why I tell Blanton and all these young people, be slow to make long-term commitments, whether it's a 30-year mortgage or whether it's having a baby or getting married, because those type of commitments are easy to get into, but they're hard as hell to get out to. And for most people, they cause either financial ruin or complete destroy of their life. That's true. Lauren, for me in Las Vegas, 1 bedroom cost about $1,000 plus 25 gas, 50 electric, 65 internet. See, that's a good point. Yeah, after you add everything up, her rent would cost about $1,000, but after you add up the utilities, the Wi-Fi, the electric, everything, it ended about $1,200 a month. And so you got to remember, once you buy a house or once you rent, your utility companies own you, and they're going to nickel and dime you to the day you die. Like I was talking to my mom, her electric bill was $200 last month. Only $90 was her actual usage. The other $110 were surcharges from the electrical company. What can you do about that? You can't do anything. So you get your internet. Initially, it's only $49.99 to start an internet at your house. And then the next thing you know, 2 years later, you're paying $75, $85 a month. Your property taxes, same thing, everything. As soon as they get you locked into a location, guys, you're screwed, because that's business model. Every business model is built like a mousetrap. They give you a initial offer to get you in the door, because once you're planted, that's when they can really nail you. Cameron, $1 super chat, brother. You are consistent, and I appreciate your love and support, brother. Shout out to Kansas, man. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the show of love, man. Hope you're doing good. Stay warm, man, in Kansas. Thank you, Cameron, for being consistent, brother. Love to you, man. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, guys. So just be mindful of that, guys, because that's the way life goes. All right, let's continue to read. Thank you for sharing. That's interesting, Lauren. Out of Illinois, brother, good to see you, man. I'm praying for you. Stay positive, man. Hopefully your health continues to get better after the surgery, man. Ryan, shout out to the Prius. It's hard to justify buying a place in my area. Your mortgage is on average $1,600 plus utilities. I would agree with that, probably for most people. The freedom in my mind is priceless compared. Well, that's true. There's something to be said for obligation and commitment. Now, when you rent, you do not own equity. However, the value of renting is you have a greater level of flexibility, okay? You're not committed. So if you start to hate your neighbors or hate your location, you know, once your lease expires, or if you're month to month, you have a lot more flexibility. You can change your mind quicker. And like the one person mentioned, humans change their mind, K-Box, like every 3 to 5 years, they want to do something different with their life. The average person only stays with the same company for about 4 years. So especially in a technology era where change is more rapid, flexibility is a huge asset, guys. Okay, huge. So you want to be flexible. It's true. Ash, what's up? Hey, bro, what's up? Good to see you. Ash, live below your means. That's the bottom line. No matter how you want to live life, live below your means. I agree. And then he goes, those are golden words, man. Wisdom. The more I listen to your videos, the more it get reinforced in my head. Thank you for that positive comment. Guys, that's what every leader, and that's what you should do with your own mind. You repeat what is worthy. There is a scripture that says, meditate on that which is good. Meditate means to repeat, to focus on, okay? So the difference between light and a laser is focus. When you repeat something, you tend to go in that direction because that's your focus. But when you just kind of like, you're not really focused on it, you kind of drift away. So there's a lot to be said for that. Good job. Cameron, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you, and I appreciate your consistency. Al, Illinois. Be careful early in life. This is wisdom, not to make mistakes that take too long to recover. That's true. And I've made them. So again, I give everyone grace. I don't want to be a bully in saying like, you know, look, we all make mistakes. That's number one. What were my biggest financial mistakes? Living above my means. I wasn't a heavy gambler, but I gambled a little bit in Atlantic City and day trading. I'm not saying you should never do any of those things or that I would never do any of those things, but those were where I lost my most money. However, how it didn't really negatively affect me because I only kind of played what I could, and I could always get out of those things. Why? Because I had no heavy commitments. You know, I wasn't married. I don't have kids. My mortgage was my longest commitment. So even if things got really bad, I could always get out. So the bottom line is, look, when you are single and when you don't have kids, you have a lot more flexibility, period. You can take more risk. Okay. However, I'm not saying everyone should be single without kids, because for some people, having a kid is the greatest thing they experience in their life. I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying, make a mental note when you're young. That's all. Ash says at Illinois, some of us never learn until they make mistakes, though. No, that's true. Look, you have to make the mistakes. You have to make mistakes, and mistakes will push you forward. Success is going from one failure to another without loss of enthusiasm. So that's all part of life, guys. No one gets through life without making mistakes. And actually, sometimes the more mistakes you make, sometimes the more it pushes you to a more fulfilled life. You know, you do want to try to you want to track your mistakes because you want to know, even if you keep doing them, you want to know what's causing you pain. So you at least know when you are ready to change what you need to change. The worst thing you can do is just put your head in the sand and not pay attention to your budget or to your life. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. Living good. How are you doing, bro? Overall, I'm thankful and I'm blessed. I really am. Keep showing up. That's number one. And what you want will come. Well, that's true. And I appreciate that positive comment. Show up and aim towards what you want. Take action. You got to have faith, but faith without works is dead. Good job, Lauren. Renting moving trucks can inspire a few rants. Well, you're damn right. Moving is one of the most mentally painful things you ever do. And if you ever help someone move, it's a disaster. So what I recommend when you move is throw out a lot of stuff. Let's take a hydration break. Thank you again, Alberto and Cameron. And thank you for everyone who clicks that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Brianna, hey Brianna, like you said, you don't own a damn thing in this life. That's true. I think that's wisdom. I prefer to travel and be single. I'm not mad at that. And being alone makes me happy. Brianna, that's a great comment. Look, as I get older, I really appreciate that comment. When I was younger, in my mid-20s, I did want a relationship. I thank God that I didn't get too serious. And I thank God for the different relationships I had. They were a blessing, not a curse. However, they caused me a lot of mental pain at times too, and emotional. In my middle age, I like to spend most of my time by myself. I like to call the own shots in my life, and I don't like to have to answer to anyone. I'm being totally honest. So I think, if you know that's who you are, then live that type of detached life that Brianna just spoke on, because I think that's wisdom. I do. Ali, what's up, Ali? Hey, man, I'm 40 years old. Okay, I'm 39 going on 40 next year. I had a joint mortgage with my brother. Oh, what a disaster, I could tell. Sold it in 2018. God bless you, brother. He bought a new house. Well, that's good. At least you guys were able to separate without a complete disaster. I bought a car and turned it into a camper. I'm not mad at that. Living as cheap as possible. I'm not mad at that. And seeing the world. Well, Ali, good comment. I'm glad that you were able to separate out of that entanglement without a major disaster. Because in my experience, money, commitment, and family go together like oil and vinegar. Total disaster. However, if you got out of it, and now you're able to live the life that you want on your terms, and what I tell you, brother, is thumbs up to you and congratulations. Good comment. Isaac. He says congrats to Ali. Good positive comment, Isaac. Lauren giving some good comments too. She goes, I need a U-Haul. Has an issue with location of trucks from the mass migration leaving certain states. That's true. And heading to other states like Arizona, Florida, and Texas. That's true. I think because people are able to work more remote, because a lot of jobs are changing, because technology has expanded the economy beyond the major metropolitan cities, okay? Now, the majority of the wealth in the country is focused on the coast, okay? That's just the way it is. However, Texas economy has come up a lot. Arizona economy has come up. And Florida has come up. Now, on average, the salaries are still a little bit lower, depending on where you are in those states. However, the cost of living is a little bit cheaper. And if you can downsize your life and come down to a warmer state that will give a better quality of life. And I think, in my opinion, Florida, Texas, and Arizona could possibly give you a better quality of life. Now, I'm a Florida guy. I'm a Floridian. However, if Florida wasn't around, what would be the next states I would look at? California, Southern Cal. I got to be by the ocean, or else I do like Arizona, but I got to be by the ocean. That's why, for me, just my opinion, I wouldn't go to Arizona. I got to be by the ocean. Texas, they got the Gulf of Mexico, but I don't know. That's why, again, it just goes back to Florida for me, because I'm an East Coast guy. I like the ocean. And I love Florida, man. I love the tropics. I do. I love the culture. So, but I'm not mad at anyone, if you like something different. But a warmer state's a blessing. And it's true. Statistics do show that there's more migration down to the southern states. That's true. May, hey, Sam. Hey, May, shout out to you. Good to see you. How's everything going with your nomadic journey? Are you still living out of your car? May was a woman I met online who she started living out of her car in Brooklyn, New York. And now as it's getting the winter, are you still living in your car? If you're living in your car in a northern state, the toughest months are January, February, March. That's when it gets the coldest. So get yourself a thermal sleeping bag from Walmart, layer up, and if you get sick, which I did a couple times, then get a hotel room for a couple weeks until the cold front passes. Do the best you can. Cameron. Sam, where do you park for your live streams? It depends. Either a gas station, Starbucks, or somewhere where I can get free Wi-Fi. Because I have an unlimited data plan through my carrier Sprint, but the live feeds require a lot of bandwidth. So a lot of times I'm better off using Wi-Fi from a nearby place. So the stream video quality is better. So it just all depends. Cameron. Sam, sadly, too many people never get the message. Well, Cameron, it's true, brother. Good comment. I mean, I was in the same boat, guys. I mean, so I understand the pain out there. What I'm trying to tell you is if you have your health, that's number one. If you have your health, and that includes not only a physical body, but a sound mind. That's why I tell you guys, take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. You got to do it, okay? And self-care is number one. Once you've done that, okay, and you secure some type of income, you can live below your means and you can live a more inspired life. So, it is possible to change your life, man. I did it. It's true. Thank you, Cameron. Lauren, if there's ice cream in the house, I'm eating it all that night, guys. I know. I mean, I'm still got a wide ass, but I mean, I used to be morbidly obese. I looked it up on the weight scale. And I used to love it. But that's part of having a house. It's like you order food, you wake up in the middle of the night, you eat food. And that's why I said I'm getting rid of this house for many reasons that I've mentioned, but also because I didn't want to overeat anymore. Because now, like, I have to intentionally go to a store to get food. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, there's no food in the Jeep Renegade. I made that mistake last year. That's how I got cockroaches in my car in Florida. I ain't going to keep no food in this car. So, but even when I kept food, I would keep like a box of cereal. Now, if I had a motorhome or a travel trailer, would I keep some food in there? Yeah, but it would only be a small amount and overall healthy. Because that's why I totally disagree with buying in bulk. When you buy in bulk, it leads to two things, waste and overeating. When you buy in bulk, I know, shout out to my man Milano, I see him in the live feed. I know he likes us, BJ's. BJ's like a wholesale bulk shopping place. But when you buy in bulk, you're going to overeat and you're going to overbuy. So guys, live light and buy light. That's true. Lila, good to see you, Lila. I was at a casino, beverage, but last night $300, but today $745 in slots. I'm not mad. We had a good time. I'm glad. You got to enjoy life. And did awesome. I'm happy for you. And you're a winner. Well, take the money and run. Guys, if you do want to gamble, it's your money. I'm not mad at you. Or if you do want to trade stocks, I'm not mad at you. But once in a while, understand this. If you can make a little bit of money, take it and run. Don't get greedy. Take it and run. Take it and run. Take it and run. Why? Because, guys, live to fight another day. Live to fight another day. And Lila, I love you. Alberto, man, thank you again for your kindness. I read that comment, and I appreciate the tip, brother. God bless you. Keep pushing forward on your journey. Thank you for your positive comment and your tip. Milano, good to see you, man. I'm sorry again that someone stole your laptop last night, man. I read your comment. John, good to see you, brother. I love you, John. I love you guys, man. Let's take a hydration break. I feel good. I feel good tonight. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? A house is a liability, he says, even if you own it free and clear. That's, to some extent, that's true. You still have to make the tax payments. That's true. I had a tax lien on my house at one time. It's true. Insurance payment. That's a good point. See, a lot of people beyond the tax and utilities, you're going to have home insurance. And if you have a mortgage on your house, you're almost going to have it. Now, if you don't put down 20%, you're going to have what they call PMI insurance, okay? And then you're going to have, whether it's a hurricane insurance, flood insurance, liability insurance. Guys, the more and more I look at it, I'm not saying everyone should rent and everyone should live mobile. That's not what I'm saying. My overall message is live below your means and live where you want. Where you want. That's true. However, for those people beyond that, I keep looking at my options in life right now. And I say, Sam, do I want to buy a house? Do I want to buy an RV, or do I want to just keep how I'm going? Now, as I get older, again, I want a little bit more comfort. But, I mean, it's hard for me to commit again because I know exactly what Johnny's talking about, man. You get caught in this entrenched position where you're so static and everyone's got their hand in your pocket, man. Whether you got a mortgage or whether you don't got a mortgage, you got the insurance companies, you got the HOA, you got the utility bills, you got the sewer tax, you got maintenance, you got your contractors that come in your house, you got the internet provider, and that's, oh shit. I'm living in my car, I'm using free internet, I don't have to worry about any maintenance. Man, it's tough to beat, man. It's tough to beat. And then he goes, You still have to make payments, insurance payments, maintenance. It's all true. HOA fees never stops, man. No thanks. Johnny, it's a good comment, man. Lauren, Ocala, Florida. I hate to say it. Hell no, you're right. Boca, hell yes, you're right. Look, no disrespect to anyone who lives in Ocala, Florida, but guys, it's a disaster. Okay, if I tell you that Trenton, New Jersey is a disaster, or Trenton, yeah, I gotta tell you, Ocala, Florida is a disaster. So, guys, especially if you have the opportunity, you don't have to move in a ritzy area, but move in a community that's healthy, has a vibrant economy, and is overall safe. Anything can happen anywhere. A psychopath can cause havoc, but guys, don't live in a bad neighborhood. Your environment matters, okay? And so, it's so true. Milano, 25% of Americans do not have a retirement check. Guys, 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The vast majority of society is barely getting by. So I don't say that in harshness. I woke up, I was that. So I'm trying to tell you, if you can change, start to take action. And change when you can, when you don't have to, because your life doesn't get better unless you start to make intentional decisions, whether it's sell your house or anything else. That's true. Good to see you, Milano. Cameron, brother, thank you again for the tip and being consistent, man. I appreciate your support. Alberto, what do you guys think about yesterday's news about Trump being impeached? I thought for sure Sam would touch on it today. I don't think much of it because the House voted to impeach him, but the Senate will not because they're the vast majority are Republican. So it's really just a political show. It's the same thing that happened to Clinton. They impeached him technically in the last year of his presidency, but it really didn't matter because he still finished out his term. So it's really just political propaganda. Now, did Trump do something wrong? A little bit. Was it a huge abuse? In my opinion, no. Okay. So same thing with Clinton. Did he do something wrong? Yes. Was it a huge abuse? No. Look, overall, the economy is in decent shape. The wealth gap is still growing, but the economy is in decent shape. We're not at war. So I got to give that to Trump. Same thing with Clinton. Look, overall, when Clinton was in office, the economy was in shape. We weren't at war. And the opposite political parties tried to impeach them off of technicality. Now, I do admit that Trump plays into that propaganda because he's nasty. And, so when you have a negative attitude, sometimes, look, people are out to get you. However, he telling it how it is how he got elected. And that's what the country kind of wanted. So I understand his mindset. I think he could balance it out a little bit better. But again, look, I didn't vote for him. Would I vote to impeach him? Probably not. I would not vote present like that one lady did. I mean, you either got to vote yes or no. I wouldn't because, look, I would look that the Senate's not going to impeach him anyway. The bottom line is, was he wrong? Yes. I think he played the game. He knew what he was doing. But was it a huge abuse of power? In my opinion, not enough to totally throw him out of office. So, I'm also looking at how the world is, right? If we were at war, if the economy was in shambles, then I would impeach him. But we're not at war. The economy isn't in shambles, even though I know the wealth gap is growing. So I have to be fair. I didn't vote for him, but I try to be fair. I lean my own way. But in my opinion, I'm not going to impeach him if I think it's like totally just for show. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion. Ryan B. My parents offered me their house. Oh, I've been, I want to read your comment. He goes, Ryan says his parents offered me their house under market value. Don't do it, man, in my opinion, but do what you want. But they asked to keep the basement open for them. Oh, what a disaster. When they visited, in my mind, I'm like, how is that a benefit to me? I made that mistake. I was wrong. What I could tell you, in my opinion, unless you're destitute, do not entangle business and family. Don't do it. Do not shit where you eat. Don't do it. You're better off to go out there and earn your own way, live below your means. And unless you're destitute, I would not do it. Not worth it. Even if you can make some money, in my opinion. That's what I would tell you. But do whatever you want, man. Thank you for sharing that, Lila. You pay medical insurance, covers taxes. Medicaid insurance covers taxes. Look, medical bills are the number one cause of bankruptcy. And if you're out here, in addition to your mortgage and your rent and everything else, you got to pay for medical insurance. And that's a huge factor for Americans that we have to consider, Cameron, Sam, catch you later. Got another live stream to watch. Well, I'm not mad at you, brother. You got freedom. There's no control or manipulation. And I appreciate you coming in to show me love. And thank you again for the tip. Hector, hey, Sam, long time from last time. I was in your live stream. Glad to see you, my friend. Well, thank you. How are you, bro? I'm doing overall. I'm thankful. I would say positive, and I thank you for the positive comment, and I thank you for coming in here, man. Good to see you. Archie, South Texas has some nice beaches. I'm not mad at that, and love and respect to Texas and every other state in America. So again, I just always want to say that, guys, just because I'm passionate about Florida, and I don't like Ocala, Florida, right? So everyone's different, though. Not everyone should be like me. If everyone was like me, the world wouldn't go round. So all I do want to say is wherever you like, you should live there. Whether it's the desert of Arizona, whether it's the North Pole, Alaska, or wherever. Because living where you want is huge. And I think that's true. Archie, yeah, I hear you. Your feedback was fine. I don't have enough to buy a house of any size. Laughing. I love you, Archie. Stay positive, my friend. You're a good man. Archie, I would move to the Keys if I had serious money. Well, here's the benefit of the nomad life. If you had a van, you can go to the Keys and be a tent camper. And that doesn't cost much. Now, gas, and you have to be able to make money on the road or maybe work a seasonal job down there. And certainly if you had an RV, there's RV parks down there, but they cost money, sometimes just as much as rent. For me, I'm not a big fan of the Florida Keys. I don't like to be on an island away from everything. However, if you're single and if you don't have kids, you got a lot of options. So don't automatically exit out of your mind. Illinois, Florida looks good on you. Well, thank you, Illinois. A lot of people have told me that, and I appreciate that. And I do feel, guys, I said that to myself today, man, and this is why I try to share these messages with you. I was just so thankful to be in Florida. A cold front today, it was 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It was like 21 degrees Fahrenheit in New Jersey. I never want to live in New Jersey in the winter again. Never. I just want to go up there maybe on occasion in the fall to see my mom, and that's it. I know I'm where I'm meant to be, and that is a blessing. Guys, that's inspiration, and that's what I want for you, okay? However you're going to do it, it may take years. It took me years, but start now. Start now and refine it as you go. Good job. John Suttles, brother, good to see you, man. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to you, man. You stay positive. You're a smart guy. We almost made it through another year, brother. God bless you. God bless your family. I pray that you use all your God-given intelligence and your compassion, and that you never hide under a rock, because you have a lot to offer, and I'm blessed to know you. Hector, sometimes I like to live in a camper because life in a normal house is very expensive. It's true. Now, I try to be fair. Life in a camper can be very expensive too, especially depending on what camper you get. So I try not to sell you guys the fantasy. I try to be very honest. So just, really research whatever type of life you want to live, because everything costs money. Some people say, well, why don't you retire early? There's no way. Everything costs money. Because even if you have no debt, again, you have to pay for car insurance, health insurance, gas, food. Everything costs money. Now, when you live below your means, you have more options, but you always need income. It's true. Hector, hey, everyone in chat. Good to see you, Hector. Lila, she goes, 99.9% of people, travelers, every year during Christmas Eve, busy time of year. Well, yes, from Christmas to April is the most populated. It's the time where all the snowbirds and all the travelers and tourists come down to Florida. It's the height of tourism season in Florida, because Florida, specifically South Florida, is the warmest place in the entire country on average. So that's how I know too. Like, I'm never going to leave South Florida unless I had to. I mean, I would pray I would never have to. But I would do everything I could to stay here. Why? Because in the winter, there's no other place in the country warmer than South Florida. Does that matter? It matters to me. So it may not matter to everyone. Some people like the cold weather. I don't. So that's very important. And that's why people come here. Kira, hey, Kira. Hey, want happened? That's true. Well, good to see you, Kira. I don't know if I missed a comment from you, but it's good to see you, Kira. Good to see everyone who's positive, man. I appreciate you. Never forget that. Johnny, Ocala is not great, but I will take it over Polk County. There was a guy in here, man. I think he got mad at me. I think he left. Forgot his name, and he was from Polk County. But he said that he regretted leaving Miami to go to Polk County, and it kind of made him live in poverty because there was more economic opportunity in Miami, even though it's more congested and higher cost of living. But he moved to Polk County because it was cheap, but there was no job opportunities, and he suffered for it. So I'm not saying you need to live in the height of the city, but you need to be by economic growth because, guys, you have to be able to make money. So, you know what I mean? And then he goes, he'll take Ocala over Polk County, the meth capital. Is that what it is? I'm not familiar with Polk County. Is that Northwest, Johnny? Keep an eye over your shoulder at all times. Well, that goes for everywhere, but I would probably say, yeah, definitely look. In high poverty areas, high crime and high drug use all goes hand in hand. I know, I've been there. So I would agree. Get out of Dodge, man. Not worth it. Kira, I'm glad Trump impeached. People have different views. Some people love Trump. Some people hate him. Look, guys, just keep living your life. But I understand that I don't shy away from political topics because life is partly political and I don't want to pander. However, I touch on it. Sometimes I'm very passionate about my viewpoint. But also, guys, don't get stuck on politics because you can stay busy your entire life just doing self-care and working on yourself. Good job. And then Kira goes, they impeached Obama and he was doing good things. Well, Kira, I think you're incorrect. They did not impeach Obama. He never got impeached, so that's inaccurate. So I love you and I appreciate your perspective, but that's not accurate. Lila, some people leave temperature in the house 68 degrees. Oh, that definitely is going to cause their bill to go up. During the day, under 75 degrees. At night, time, uncomfortable house, temperature thermostat 72. That heating bill going to go up? Yeah, it's more comfortable. Hey, guys, look. My mom kept her thermostat at 55 degrees. You know what her bill was last month in New Jersey? $200 a month for electric. And her thermostat was at 55 degrees. So, guys, disaster. Cameron, I'm back. Good to have you, man. You were missed. Kira, and you go in debt. Well, you don't want to go in debt. Debt can be dangerous. I'm not saying never take out a loan, but just be very cautious with debt. Enjoy the dream life, brother. I'm sorry I got mad at you. I love you. Sam, I like your unbiased. Sam, you're president for 2020. Well, I don't want to be president yet because I got more self-care and more life to do before I can really give back at that level. Because even if you don't like Trump, you have to admit he has passion. And, you know, again, Obama, even Clinton, you know, whoever it is to run for office, look, there's a lot of perks. There's a lot. And believe me, they all take advantage. But it's also like, you know, it's a lot of thankful, you know, this is what I would tell you guys. You have to be honest about this. If you are intelligent and strong enough to run for president and become president, you can do a lot of other things in life. So there has to be a level of passion behind it. So you can't just say like running for president is all about money and power, even though it's a huge part of it. I don't want to pander. But guys, yeah, I've worked in the private sector all my life. For someone to be able to operate at that level to become a president, they could do anything they wanted with their life and make money. They could. So just remember that, you know what I mean? And so, you know, the main thing is always with any president, as long as we're not at war and there's not mass destitute, let us be thankful. However, I do want to acknowledge, I want us to improve on our social well-being. I don't like the fact that our wealth gap, the wealthiest people and the poorest people and the middle class continue to grow further apart. I don't like that we pay the most for health care rather than any other nation, and we're the only industrialized nation that doesn't have universal health care. I don't like that. So that needs to be fixed, okay? I don't want corporations to suffer. I don't want capitalism to collapse. I do want reforms, okay? So I rather us take the energy that we're using on impeachment and use that to work on the reforms, because the impeachment is just bullshit. You know what I mean? But I know that's a daydream. But eventually, as I get older, would I ever run for president? Maybe. But just remember, the power is really in people pushing the president, not really in a person. So I'm not a superhero, and no one is. But thank you. I enjoyed a dream life. I appreciate you and your love, man. God bless you. Hector, I still live with my parents. I'm not mad at you. Because my salary, I can't buy another home for myself. Well, I'm not mad at you as long as you have a job. Now, if you have the physical and mental ability to work and you don't work, look, I am a little mad at you. I'm not talking about you. That's a general statement. Because, guys, if you are going to live with your parents, and I did when I was, I moved out when I was about 22. So if you're going to live with your parents, at least make good use of it. Make work, okay? Build your career and save money. Now, if you have a physical or mental disability, then I understand. But if you don't, guys, get out there and work and build your life and live on your terms. That's true. Alberto, Obama wasn't impeached. I agree. I said that. Kira, I want to move to LA. Well, LA is just like Florida. There's crappy parts and there's good parts. And the good parts cost money. So you have to secure a job first, just like I did with Florida. Because if I just said I want to move to Florida and I came here and I went to Ocala, Florida, I would have been screwed. So it's one thing to have a goal. That's a good thing. I want to encourage you, Kira. Good thing that you have a goal. That's thumbs up to you. Now you have to narrow your focus, because the difference between a light and a laser is focus. So now you got to say, okay, what part of LA do I want to live? I have to visit. Then you have to say, okay, where can I get a job in the area I want to visit? And then you have to figure out that whole process. But you got to take it small steps, and you got to narrow your focus. Good job. Hector, I don't think Obama was impeached. He wasn't. He wasn't. Kira, oh, I heard rumors that he was impeached, Hector. Okay, that's okay. We're going forward. Hector, probably Kira. So Steve, hey everyone. Hey Steve, what's good to see you. Kira, yeah, I'm confused. That's okay, Kira. We appreciate your positivity. We appreciate your love. Hector, hey Steve. Steve, hey Hector. Hector, no problem, Kira. Thank you for the positivity, guys. Cameron says, Trump may be impeached, but we have to deal with the other guy. Yeah, that's true. Look, in my opinion, I'd rather Trump be the president than Pence, in my opinion. And again, he won't get impeached because the Senate will not impeach him. They're majority Republican. So guys, look, if you really don't want Trump in office, vote next year. Next year's the election. Okay. In my opinion, the most disgraceful part about America is we claim to be the greatest democracy, but only 50% of the population vote. Half of the population do not vote one way or the other. So vote, okay? And look, even if you totally hate the president and he gets elected again, one of the best parts about America is every 8 years, you're going to get a different president no matter what. So nothing stays the same. But again, guys, get involved in politics, vote, but don't be consumed. Because like my man, a dream life, you have to go after your life, okay? And if you get too consumed with politics, it's a big distraction. So stay positive. Danny, hey Danny. Hector, hey Danny. Lila, but honest with you, Trump never got elected because I never voted for Trump. I hate him so much. You should be fired like a new president commercial. Well, I understand. Look, 3 million more people voted for Hillary than Trump. However, Trump knew the rules of the game. And he knows how to play the game. The game was not who can get the most popular vote. The game was who can get the most electoral votes. He knew the game, and he played it better than Hillary. Bottom line, I voted for Hillary. But guys, I'm going to say, look, he was a better candidate. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so now we just move on with our life, and we try to stay positive. Lila, but honest with you, because I never voted for, oh yeah, I read that. I love you, Lila. We're going to stay positive. Kira, I just found out today that he got impeached. That's okay. We're going to go forward. Lila, but honest with you, oh, that must have came in again. I love you, Lila. Danny, hey, Sam and Hector. Good to see you, Danny. Lila, yes, no matter who is the president, we all have to go to work tomorrow. So guys, just stay positive and keep moving your life. Good job, Alberto. But that is the sad part. And even with me and my father, that was one of the things that wedged us apart. Because where I disagreed with him about Trump was there's a lot of issues that are very divisive, and it's a different way to look at life. You know, in my opinion, if you shame someone for exercising their First Amendment right, then I think you're shameful. Like, I did not like Colin Kaepernick. I didn't like his attitude. I didn't like what he was doing, but I stood for him with the right to exercise his First Amendment right to protest the government and to take a knee. And I think that when you don't stand with someone being able to exercise that right, I think that's not leadership. And I think that's not being a good president. And that was a huge thing for me. And that's the whole mindset towards the country and towards how we look at people. And like for Trump to say, like the FBI was witch hunting him and for him to play the whole game, but for him to say that the Central Park Five should have got the death penalty when he didn't even look at the facts of the case and that got overturned by DNA, he's not really a law and order person. He's only for law and order when it's not against him, it's against someone else. He's only for, the First Amendment right when it's Alex Jones, not Colin Kaepernick. So he's not a leader, okay? But, again, he won. Hillary was a horrible candidate. But those are very divisive things that can divide a family because there's a lot of racism embedded in that. There's a lot of generational way of looking at things, an old generation, the way they look at life and the way the newer generation looks at that. And those are huge mindsets, very different mindsets. And that's why it divides families. That's true. Not to mention immigration and everything else. That's huge. Cameron says, by the way, I didn't vote for Trump. Well, thank you for sharing, brother. Kira, I would die in a home that is 65 degrees. Good job. Way to laugh, Kira. Let's take a hydration break because it's right now it's about 80 degrees in my car because I got to roll my windows down. It dropped down right now. It's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit here in South Florida, guys. What's the temperature where you live? Danny, we kept our house at 69. That's pretty hot. Lila, but honest with you, oh yeah, I've read that. I love you, Lila. Alberto, we're split 50-50. The men in the family support him and the women don't. I can understand that. Yeah, it's also a gender thing. That's true too. Lila, but honest with you, Trump, oh yeah, I read that. I love you, Lila. Kira, I don't know if I can become president. They should have made Hillary Clinton president. Well, she had an opportunity. She gave it a good go. She came very close, but she just couldn't squeeze it out. Lila, but honest with you, oh yeah, I read that. Lila, I love you. Hector, I agree absolutely with you, Kira. Lila, people should fire Trump. Well, guys, look, there's election next year, so just stay positive. Denny, how do you feel about LGBTQ? I don't know if that means lesbian, gay, and something else. I stand for equal rights. So I believe that gay, straight, transgender, whatever, everyone should have equal rights in society as long as their rights are not like include hurting someone else or infringing upon someone else's. So I stand with equal rights. However, I'm not for like favoritism, because sometimes it can go too far. So I'm just for equal rights. They should have the right to get married, the right to every other citizen, and that's it. However, again, it's like, I don't think like if a church, I don't know. For me, just equal rights. I keep it very simple. Not even get to equal rights and everyone's happy. That's it. Lila, people should, oh yeah, well, we're going to stay positive. I love you. Cameron, Trump isn't bad overall, but it's almost too late to get him out. Well, I agree with that. But don't get back the 3 years he was president, so just live your life. Yeah, it's true, guys. Got to go forward no matter what. There's good and bad and everything. Kira, I will vote next year when I turn 18. Well, that's positive. You should get involved. Good job. Isaac, I registered to vote as soon as I could. Good job. I was only 17 in 2016 elections, though. Okay. And guys, I lived through, I was born in the 80s, so I lived through Reagan, the first Bush, Clinton, the second Bush, Obama, and Trump. And what I can tell you guys is life keeps going on, so don't get too upset. Lila, I hear you. Stay positive. Ryan B. Yep, I do agree with you on your points. I can only imagine the future resentment in that situation. Yep. AI Gaming, hey man, shout out to Canada. Hey Sam, good to see you, brother. Stay positive, man. Kira, I did not vote for Trump. That's okay. Love to you. And Kira says hello to Lila. 20 degrees? That's cool. Isaac, it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit. That's better than 20. Kira, where are you at? Don't say the town, but if you could say the state. That's interesting. Alberto, 64 in Cali. That's not bad. Again, if I wasn't in Florida, California would be my next choice because I have to be by the ocean, but it would probably be South California. I wouldn't want to be in North Cali. I would want to be in South Cali by like San Diego. I'd have to visit there first. I've never visited there. I'd have to visit first. Camera. Oh, it's 10 degrees in Kansas. That's cold, man. Stay warm, brother. Isaac at camera. Also, condolences, he said. Good job. I drove through Kansas one winter. It was cold. Yeah, I can understand that. Cameron, he says, Trump should identify as a female to be the first female president. Hector, So sorry, Sam. I have to go. That's all right. You got the freedom, man. Just do you. Thank you again for your tip, Alberto. Hector. Sorry, Sam. I have to go. Been a pleasure. I have to talk with you, bro. That's good. Hope to see you soon. Same to you, friend. In my next live chat. Never change. Thank you for your positivity. You're really a wise man. Thank you for the love. Lucky to know you. It's the same here. I'm lucky to have positive people in my life. Take care, buddy. Thank you for the positive comments, Hector. Have a peaceful night. He says goodbye to everyone. Alberto, you're in South Cal? Damn it, man. Damn. Well, I may visit there one day. I may. I know how we got along right away. Take care, Hector. Lila, my friend doing good. That's good. He's recovering from cancer. God bless him. Danny, Sam, I think the gray in your beard is hot. Well, thank you. I'll take a compliment. Thank you. Kira, oh, you're in Illinois? Oh, that's cold. No wonder. Stay positive, Kira. We love you. Lauren, Las Vegas is fit. That's pretty cool. But it's that dry heat. I guess that's good camping weather, but that's too cool for me. She goes, Las Vegas is 55 degrees high and 32 low. Yes, that's too cool for me, though. But it's good camping weather, maybe, but too cool for me. Love to you, Lauren. You're a positive person. I want to see you in Boca again. Cameron, moving me and my PT to Kansas when my Army contract is up. I'm not mad at that. Next December, Cameron. Love and respect to you, brother. Shout out to everyone in the service. And I think it's still 20 years now. So would I recommend someone enlist in the Army or any type of branch in the military? If you have nothing else going on, and if you're willing to deal with a little bit of extra structure, because the Army and the service, a lot of structure, you can get a lot of benefits, a lot of lifetime benefits if you can tough it out. But if you got nothing else going on, it's an option. Cameron, good job, man. Thank you for your service. Alberto, Southern Cal, yeah. I like that. Tomorrow night, better weather. Okay. I never heard of that. Bellevue, Florida? I never heard of that. That must be Northwest. Lauren feels colder. I can imagine. Lauren, I want to see you in Boca. Kira, love to you all. Love to you back. Danny says, bye, Kira. Kira says, Danny. Cameron, it is 20 if you want to get... Okay, yeah, it's 20 and out if you want to get a retirement. But this life isn't easy for me. Well, that's wisdom. You know, that's almost like selling a house. When should you get out? When it's time. When you know it's not good for you. So, Cameron, you know, you don't have to do the whole 20, man. Whenever you can get out, and if you feel like it's not good for you anymore, you should get out, brother. So I respect that decision. Kira says goodbye. All right, guys, and I say goodbye, and I say thank you again for everyone who came in tonight. Thank you, Alberto, and thank you, Cameron, for the tip. Thank you for everyone who left a comment. Thank you for everyone who clicked the thumbs up button. Have a great night, and I just end on when it's time, it's time. So live urgently and live intentionally, because your life doesn't get better unless you get focused. God bless, guys.